everybody. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. I'm glad that you guys like the intro, but I wanted to put it in a comment because some people don't, and I don't think they realize on the replay, you can just skip right through it. The purposes of the intro being 2 minutes or so that you guys have a chance to get in here before the live starts. You know, we do the intro, I say hello to you guys, and that gives people time to get in here. But anyways, how are you guys today? I hope you're having a good day. Hey, Pointer Lover. Hey, Tess. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Edith. Hey, Jen. Let's see. JC, good to see you. Hello, Roxanne. Hey, Shortcake. Clicker. Becky P. Some people don't like the hellos either, but that ain't stopping. Hey, Kazzy. Hey, Jen. Sarah Fair. Hello, Music City Mom. Hey, Cricket Burdette. Good morning. Harlot, good to see you. Hey, Donna. Adrian. Laura Myers, good to see you. Hello, Lowred. Good to see you as well. People who skip this intro are weird, lols. David. Hey, Jen. Hey, David, by the way. Hey, Fonda. I think I saw Amber in here, by the way. Hey, Amber. I was just on your channel watching some of the Chris Watts stuff. Hey, Natasha. Hey, Mama 4, which you've done. You're just such a wealth of knowledge with that case, but I think it's really cool. Amber's been digging back into the Watts case. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should. Hey, Stephanie. Good morning. Hey, Shauna. So today we actually do have quite a few things to talk about. Hey, Jennifer. YouTube mornings are boring. I know. That's actually, yesterday I did that live kind of in the morning and people were like, I love this time. Thank you for doing it at this time. So I thought, well, let's try it again. It's just a little bit later, but to be honest with you, I went back to sleep after the kids went off to school this morning. So, hey, Bex. Tony, good to see you. And we're a talkative bunch, so we're all talking before the start. Hey, Trulia, my West Virginia sister. Hey, Tony. Okay, so we do have to talk about a couple things. Thank you, Jennifer. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Carol Clark. So before we get into Savannah, we have a lot to talk about there. So you guys know that, well, if you were here yesterday, you know that I paid for that new San Antonio news website, and they had an article where they went in depth with interviews with Matthew's family and friends at the Vigil. I want to look at that. Matthew's brother has put out a statement. One of the local politicians has also spoken out. Court TV had a show this morning with a DEA agent where they talked about potential dealing and what that might mean for the case. And I want to talk about the GoFundMes and the Clear Alert. So we have 10 things to talk about with Savannah. But first, I really want to just try to highlight these 2 cases really quickly. It'll just take us a minute to get through them. I don't have a lot on them. One, I have 2 articles. One, I have 1. But, I haven't got to do a lot of true crime news. And you guys know I really am very passionate about trying to get some of these cases out there for people to see that maybe aren't really being seen. So if you just can stick with me for 10 minutes to get through these 2 cases, then we're going to get into the Savannah stuff. So let's see. Happy New Year, Brenda. Hey, Punksy. Hey, K-Braze. Okay, so this is the first one we're going to talk about. And I do have 2 articles because Mayla's mom actually sent me an article and I had already planned on talking about it. So we're going to look at both just quickly. So 10-year-old takes father's stolen gun, brags about it, and murders the young boy out riding his bike. So, hold on. Freaking mouse is being funky. A 10-year-old was arrested Saturday by the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office after allegedly shooting and killing another 10-year-old. Sacramento County deputies arrived around 4:30 Saturday at an apartment complex in the Foothill Farms area off of Greenholm Drive, where they discovered an unresponsive boy with head and neck injuries. Deputies administered CPR until the fire department arrived and the little boy was taken to the local hospital. He was later pronounced deceased, according to the sheriff's office. Family members told NBC3 that the victim was Keith K.J. Frierson. An incident reportedly began with the defendant going to his father's vehicle to retrieve cigarettes. The defendant then found and took a firearm from the vehicle and, quote, bragged that his father had a gun. unquote. The defendant then proceeded to shoot the victim once and ran into a nearby apartment. KJ's aunt, Erica, and KJ had just walked out of his apartment to go bike riding when the shooting occurred. His aunt, Erica, said he was smart, very intelligent, kind, loving, respectful, and he did not deserve this. He had a whole life to live. The sheriff's office said deputies ordered the defendant out of the apartment building he ran into. He emerged with another child and an adult identified as his father, 53-year-old Arkeet Davis. Police found the firearm in a nearby trash can and believe Davis, who was legally prohibited from possessing a gun, may have thrown it away before deputies arrived. The sheriff's office added the firearm was reportedly stolen in 2017. The boy was taken to a youth detention facility and charged with murder, and dad was arrested and charged with child endangerment, firearm offenses, and a couple other things. This is just tragic. So the dad had a stolen gun. The boy got it out of his car and killed another kid. Hey, Connie. Hey, Riddler. You guys, we are just running just briefly through 2 cases, and then we have a lot to go through with Savannah's case, so I'm not going to stay here too long, but I do want to talk about it for just a moment. So this is from the Los Angeles Times, just another article about the case. Father and son arrested after 10-year-old shoots another boy with stolen gun. A 53-year-old man and his 10-year-old son were arrested Saturday in Sacramento after the boy fatally shot another child using a stolen gun he found in his dad's car. So remember, he was going to the car to get cigarettes at 10 years old and got the gun. The little boy he shot was just about to go bike riding with his aunt. Okay, so dad's charges are carrying a stolen loaded firearm in a vehicle, endangering the life of a child, illegally possessing a firearm as a felon, accessory after the fact, and criminal storage of a firearm. So this is sad. You know, this little boy, they won't, if they're charged in the youth system, you know, by the time they're like 25, they will eventually be able to go back into society. But it's just so sad. 10 years old. I mean, what do you know at 10? And I don't know. Now, I'm just going to pull up the second one because, like I said, we have so much to talk about with Savannah and Matt that I wasn't really expecting to have. It's just the more I looked, the more I found. And in that article that I paid for, it was pretty in depth, like just describing them. And I thought that, well, Matthew specifically, really, but I thought that you guys would probably want to see that. But before we get into it, here is the second case I wanted to talk to you about. This reminded me of Kendrick Johnson. Just because it's Georgia boy, football players. Let me see. 19-year-old arrested for murder of Georgia high school football player. A 19-year-old man has been charged with the death of a high school football player found dead the day before his team's state championship game last month. Brandon Smith, 17, was last seen on December 7th and reported missing 2 days later. Smith's body was found on December 10th behind a home, and he had been shot to death. So Smith played football for Manchester High School, which was scheduled to play the state championship on December 11th, just the day after he was found. The team's captains carried Smith's jersey onto the field at the start of the game, which Manchester lost by 1 point to defending champion Bowdoin. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said on Tuesday it had arrested Adarius Jashawn Williams and charged him with Smith's murder. Investigators determined that Williams shot and killed Smith following an argument. Williams is being held at Meriwether County Jail. So I just wanted to, like I said, talk about those. Sometimes just, you know, like I tell you guys, there are some cases where these family members would do anything to be covered for 5 minutes. And then we have the opposite where they do anything to stop being talked about. Hey, teacup. Hey, shaker maker. So I'm just like, I do feel very passionately, and I want to do my part at trying to not just talk about the big cases, but also the cases that aren't being talked about at all, you know. It is sad, JC. I think about them carrying the jersey out onto the field. I mean, that's sweet. That is just so sad. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears into Matthew and Savannah. Let me see. This morning, Matthew's brother had a post on Facebook, and I have shared it, and we're going to start with that. I guess he was locked out of posting. So over here, we're not really going to get into some of the rumors about, the other people that are potentially involved. We did talk a little bit about it on Patreon. I feel like that I just don't want to damage the case. They've asked to stop getting into the rumors. So today we're going to talk about what the friends and family have said about the victims. We're going to talk about these GoFundMes. We're going to talk about a local politician that's speaking out. We got a lot of things to go through, but we're not going to go into those ring videos and stuff. Brenda says, our world has gone crazy. I can't imagine or wrap my head around these things. I know. Me either. Thank you, Carol. They definitely are. I agree. Okay, so his brother, well, I saw it this morning, but he posted it, I guess, yesterday morning, 22 hours ago from where I screenshotted it like 2 hours ago. So probably 24 hours ago by now. So he says, now that I ain't blocked, I got things I want to get a few things off my chest. 1, if you got a problem with Savannah and my brother Matthew, you can address it in my inbox and we can meet in person and talk about it. 2, if you want to think my brother would always just beat Savannah and they weren't happy, you're wrong. 3, well, I'm just actually going to stop here. I can imagine that after losing his brother, some of those things that he did, like put his hands on Savannah and stuff, are probably hard to hear people talking about it. It's tough because those are the facts of the situation that were dealt with. It happened. So I don't know. But I can sympathize with the fact that it would be hard to hear, especially in his death, right? Because not that it's necessarily victim blaming or shaming, but almost in a way, you know what I mean? So he goes on to say, 3, if you think the whole situation is funny and not something serious, then you're a sick-ass individual and need to be taught a lesson. 4, we will get justice regardless. 5, my brother loved Savannah in ways I can't even explain. Savannah loved Matthew so much they were literally inseparable, and both were so happy for baby Fabian. I don't give a F what anyone says. My brother was a good person, and he just made some mistakes, as everyone does. Nobody is perfect, but it's always going to be the same from our family. It's always going to be long live Matthew, long live Savannah, rest in peace to my unborn nephew, baby Fabian. I love you so much. So I don't really have an opinion. Oh, Roxanne, thank you. I just got your Cash App. I appreciate that. Thank you. Excuse me. So yeah, I just think that, I don't have an opinion. I just wanted you to see what they said. And as well as when we get into the other things that were said from friends and other family members, I do have sympathy. I think that this would just be a very tough time all around for everybody. Teacup says the brother is probably a victim of abuse and it was normalized for him. Hey, Sarah. I'm glad that you're here now. Hey, Bushit. If Savannah wasn't pregnant, in my opinion, we would have never heard of this case. Ain't that the damn truth? You know how many cases we don't hear about? Look at the first 2 we just talked about before we got into this. And if you guys are not familiar with it, I have a series on my channel called True Crime News. On that series, we've probably went through hundreds at this point of cases that just do not get talked about. And oftentimes, if they are people of color, that's the case. Every now and then, like we had that one young lady who faked her kidnapping, that got all the attention. The one that was fake. It's unfortunate because there are a lot of Black women who are kidnapped, sex trafficked, all the time, and they don't ever get the attention. Hey, Tart with the heart. Their family and friends knew all the things they were into, so people need to quit worrying about the lifestyle and worry about finding their killers. I agree. I mean, I can see why it's a point of conversation because some of these things did happen. However, I don't know. So now we'll get into So these are some of the other things we're going to look at. We're going to look at this local politicians' comments on it. We're going to talk about some of these GoFundMes, the fake ones. I want to get your opinions on how you feel about these GoFundMes. We're going to talk about there's a charity that is helping. We're going to get into all of that. But first, I want to go through these screenshots. So this article I paid for, but I was afraid if I tried to log in on the computer that I would have trouble. So I just took screenshots with the phone to bring them up for you guys, because you can't see the article if you aren't a member, which I hate that so much. It is very frustrating. A lot of these local news organizations, they want a membership fee to read some of these articles. Oh, Adrian, thank you. Boo sheet. Yeah, I heard the whole freaking world is burning down on some parts of YouTube, but don't know too much about it this morning. Hey, Mary Jane Doe. Adrian, that was so sweet. Thank you. Hey, Patricia, good to see you. Babies and young people's lives being taken by murder are bound to enrage family members. Grief, frustration, and the futility would eat up family for a while, so they get a pass for now. Hey, Amber Time. Sure, good to see you. Hey, Anna Morris. Hey, Donna. Okay, so let me go through these. So this here is Sabian Hernandez, half-brother of Matthew Guerra, hugs their mother, Karen Hernandez, during a vigil for Matthew on Monday at Woodlawn Lake Party in San Antonio. This article did get some really great photos of the vigil and some good interviews, so that's why we're going through it. Here we have Eli Paulos and Brianna Guerra, 15, became emotional during a vigil for Matthew on Monday. Guerra and his pregnant girlfriend Savanah were found last week, which we know that. And the sign says, "Long live Matthew Guerra." And then she even has a shirt with them on it. Here we have Eli Paulos again, stepbrother of Matthew Guerra, embraces Rosemary Mancha, a vigil for Guerra on Monday at Woodlawn Lake Party in San Antonio. Guerra, 22, and his pregnant girlfriend Savanah were found last week, which we know that. And then here is a picture of some of the balloons they released for them, pink and blue balloons. Raquel Guerra, stepmother of Matthew, listens as her husband Gabriel answers questions during a vigil for Matthew on Monday, which we have seen clips of that. If you guys were here, I linked a video from Ikidmel. No, I haven't, Bushit. Where did he speak? Hey, Shani. Oh, Shar, 29 months. Oh, I've missed you. Shar has, you know what? A lot of you guys, I was thinking yesterday, many of you guys have been with me for 2 years or more. You know, Punksy and Nay and Pointer Lover and Shar, of course, Woofy, Melissa. It's just really cool that we haven't had like any major falling outs or, you know, mods leave. You know, of course, naturally over time, some friendships are closer, at sometimes more distant. I've had some mods come and go that were creators and stuff like that, but like my original like core group, I'm so proud of I'm really proud of this little community. Oh, Amber Time, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Hey, Rachel's rocking. Okay, now we're going to get into some of the comments that were made. Well, I just actually screenshot the whole article so I could share it all with you guys since you have to pay for it. Oh, wait, we're not done yet. So this is Jesse Gallegos. He embraces nephew Sabian Hernandez at the vigil. More family members. Here we have Raquel Guerra, stepmother of Matthew, who embraces Savannah's mother, Gloria, during the vigil, which, oh, my heart. I'm happy you're here. I'm so glad too, Tart. You guys are just the best. Hey, Trio Girl Mom. Hey, Amanda Love. Glad that you're here. God, that picture, you guys. Here we have them again. Stepmother of Matthew in the center, Gloria, Savannah's mom, on the right, and Laura, Savannah's aunt, on the left at the vigil. Okay, so here's the article, which, like I said, it's San Antonio Express News. You guys can go check it out. I don't have the actual link because I screenshot it all, but like you have to pay to see their article, so I don't know if you guys would even want the link, but just so you have the source. Matthew Guerra's family and friends shed lots of tears Monday evening as they remembered the 22-year-old at a prayer vigil in Woodlawn Lake Park. But some of the hardest sobs came as the group released dozens of blue and pink balloons. Now, I think this is important for us to talk about because these kids have been slandered all to hell. So I do want to show when people speak out with love for them. And I think that, we're not feeding into the rumors and all the BS, but we're still keeping an eye on the case and talking about what's going on. So Gianna Marie Perez, one of Matthew's cousins, led the group of almost 100 people in a countdown before breaking down in tears. And then they talk about how they were found last week in his car, about 3 miles from their apartment. Now, we are going to get into some conversation regarding the phones at the end of this, because I know that they didn't find the phones in the car, and I don't believe the family, and certain that they didn't find them at the apartment too, right? Like, I wanted to talk to you guys about that, which we'll get into that in a moment. But so the Bexar County, apparently you pronounce that Bear. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office has ruled both deaths a homicide. Police officials say the investigation is ongoing, but no arrests have been made. We talked that the DA, Duty Ron, retired law enforcement officer, believes, based on the DA's recent interview, that there may be an arrest coming soon. Perez said she was close to Guerra growing up, and she has fond memories of playing in the lake park together where this vigil was held. She said, "We were always here as kids. We would run this park as kids," she recalled as she set up candles and signs for the vigil. "I know he's watching over us right now." There will be a public viewing for Matthew at Mission Park Funeral Chapels South on Southeast Military Drive from 5:30 to 8 on Monday. Sabian Hernandez, 27, one of Guerra's half-brothers, choked up several times throughout the night as he thanked community members, family, and friends for attending the ceremony. Hey, Cassie. Hey, Rock. When I'm reading, I can't see the chat. Hey, Neat. So if I do miss anything important, you guys let me know. Hey, McNaught Matt. Hey, everybody. Sherry, good to see you, and Claudia. Okay, let's continue. He was ready to be a father, Hernandez said. He was excited. Karen Hernandez, Matthew's mother, said she is still processing the situation and is saddened that she won't be able to meet the grandchild she had been looking forward to. She said, "He was always joking around. That's all we ever did was joke around, and now we can't do that anymore." His half-brother Stephen said Matthew was, quote, "always happy," unquote. His cousin, Karis Guerra, said she remembers the fun they had at the park as well. He'd get in tons of trouble there. She recalled always climbing onto the roofs and jumping off things, which that's how little boys are. Uh-oh. He was just one of those people where you could tell him one thing and he would even tell you, "Yeah, I understand." And then he'd go and do his thing instead, she said with a laugh. Karis Guerra said that a lot of the problems in her cousin's life were the result of him, quote, "getting into a lot of drugs," unquote. But that he started changing his life for the better when he found out they were expecting. Matthew's stepmom, Raquel, said she could have never guessed that her family would be starting this year without him. She said, "I possibly thought I would be babysitting Fabian for New Year's," she said through tears. "Me and Savanah talked about so many things we had planned for the baby." Soto's family held a vigil for Savanah last week in Kenwood Park. think that was the last one of from that article. Yes. So just nice to hear from some of the family and people who knew them. Okay, so now just quickly, we'll look at this local politician. This is a new article that has come out in their local news in San Antonio regarding this. One sec. If any of you are dealing with congestion, I highly recommend. I've never tried one of those, but I am dealing with it horrifically. That's why I keep muting, because we have like an air purifier in the house and the filter was bad. I had to replace it. So I was without it for like a week, and I could tell a huge difference, for real. Okay, so Councilman's plea to help find killers of pregnant Savannah and boyfriend Matthew. This case has put a spotlight on violent crimes happening in San Antonio. While the bodies of Savannah and her boyfriend Matthew were found in District 7, Manny Pelaez of District 8 says the crime impacts the entire city. He's asking people to help investigators with any tips or information that can help catch the people responsible. We will not tolerate crimes perpetrated on our residents here in San Antonio, he said. Anybody who did this has forfeited their right to be among us. When caught, I fully expect our DA to keep his word and prosecute this person to the fullest extent. Back in September, the city council approved a $3.7 billion budget that includes an increase of millions of dollars to the San Antonio police budget. That money not only went towards hiring more officers, but also the purchase of technology and equipment to help solve crimes. Now, I find this interesting because if you remember, during the press conference, the chief was asked if he expected to get any help from other like FBI or whatever. And some of you guys mentioned potentially it would be the Texas Rangers, which would be like their state police. They have a huge budget, so maybe they have some pretty decent technology. The FBI has, that's where when we're watching trials, we hear of the CAS team and we hear of them going much more in detail than phone pings. They're doing completely, they can find out exactly where you're standing, in what direction you're facing, when you take 3 steps to the right. I mean, they can be so precise with the location of an individual based on their phone. Wonder if my internet cut out for a second. Hey, Jessie Lynn. Okay, so next, I think it's good though that local people in positions of authority are speaking out. Now we're going to talk about these GoFundMes, and this is going to be a little bit of a tough discussion for some people. I want to know, how do you guys feel about these GoFundMes? Because I've gotten a lot of comments about it, a lot. Some people just seem that they don't like it very much. Hey, KPM. I think law enforcement knows who the big guy in the truck is already. In my opinion, this could be related to her brother too. I agree. Hey, Brandy. Love you, babe, and drive safe. I'm glad to see you. So, how do you guys feel about GoFundMe in these situations? Now, look, we know there was like 5 or 6 going around, and there was actually only 2 legit ones. I think it's really tough. Also, I'm confused. If we have this nonprofit, what is it? Eagles. My brain is not working. Hold on. I know it's Eagles something, but Eagles Flight. Thank you, Pointer Lover. Which, by the way, just so you guys know, today I went in and I scheduled a test live because that's how you can like connect a fundraiser to your stream, you have to have it scheduled already. And you go to the bottom and it'll be like, there's a little option where you can add a fundraiser. So I searched, Eagle's flight was not in the YouTube system, but it said the way that they get this list is from other creators who have requested approved nonprofit charities. So they had like a what would you call that? They had like a feature on there where you could search for different nonprofit charities through the federal tax system or whatever, legitimate ones. And I found the code for Eagle's flight and I put it in there. You were at the test, Riddler. Aw, I'm sorry. It confused you guys too. Well, I put that in there and we're going to see what they say. Apparently they'll get back to me in a couple of days with an email. Maybe that nonprofit will be approved and we can do a stream where all the funds go to them because they are helping with the burial and stuff. But we also have these GoFundMes. Hey, Crystal. So let's see. Did any of you guys, I don't trust GoFundMes, Sherry says. I don't really either. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about the GoFundMe. Seems like everyone and anyone has a GoFundMe nowadays. Everyone's looking for the quick lick. But, I don't think that most families, yes, thank you, Riddler. I don't think that most families have like this money set aside in case one of their teenage kids gets murdered, right? But I did pull up a couple things for this, so hold on. We'll look at this first. This is local news. GoFundMe account supporting the Soto and Guerra families after sudden tragedy. So Savannah's family hadn't heard from her since the 22nd. She was supposed to be induced. They were found on the 26th. Instead of opening Christmas presents and celebrating the New Year, both families are making funeral arrangements for Savannah, Matthew, and Fabian. A GoFundMe account has been created to help them pay for the expenses, and they have linked the actual legit GoFundMes here. Now, can I link this? Let's see if it's too long. That Bikram sent me a link shortener, but I don't have it that handy right now. So let's just see if you guys are interested, maybe you can get this link. If not, I can post it. Yeah, it's too long. I'll post it after. The funeral home is accepting direct donations. Thank you, Aaron. And we have the nonprofit helping. Oh, Riddler, you're such a good son. I love it so much. Hey, Rebellious Rose. What did Kathy say? Let's see. I would rather donate to the nonprofit, but not to this situation. They have raised plenty of money. I really don't know how to feel. That's why I didn't answer. I know. I noticed a lot of you guys did not answer. Oh, thank you, Rebellious Rose. Well, Lil Red, I have a little Facebook article pulled up for that right here. And this was 23 hours ago. So it is probably more now, right? There are so many GoFundMes. Every time a tragedy like this happens, they kind of become white noise to me. Adrian. Okay, so look here. This says, as of 23 hours ago, News 4 San Antonio says they raised $18,357 for Savannah and the baby and $3,000 for Matthew. Let's click the link. Wait, is that the same one? No. Hold on. Wait. News for San Antonio and News for NBC News for San Antonio. They're very similar. I wonder if we could, let's just click the links and get a current amount. So here is Savannah's. They've now raised $19,000 out of $20,000 goal. Do we have any updates? No. Sometimes they'll update. Now let's go look at Matthew's. Now there were like 3 fake GoFundMes as well. So people see a tragedy. I mean, who the fuck is sitting at home and you see a pregnant woman murdered? Excuse me. Her old man murdered, and, of course, they lose the baby that's in her tummy. And you're like, oh, I'm going to take their photos and set up a GoFundMe as if I'm the family. I can get rich off this. Or I can make some quick money. I mean, what the hell? Mick, not Mac, says, but that also doesn't account for money sent directly to the family. That's true. Tess says, I think as long as people aren't being guilted into gifting, they can do whatever they want. 20,000 is a lot for a funeral. People are also donating directly to the funeral home. I mean, that's not really my place to tell people what to do with their money or to tell people how to take care of their expenses when they lose a loved one. I don't think anybody's prepared for this, but I know that people are leaving me a lot of comments about it. So that is why I wanted to talk to you about it. Thank you, Mandy, for joining. Welcome. Appreciate that. Oh, Crystal, thank you for the super sticker. It was super sweet. Thank you. It's also the responsibility of the one donating. They are not being forced to contribute. Mr. Tomato Head says probably a bad idea to give crackheads GoFundMe money. Well, I mean, to be fair, the family wasn't into drugs, I don't think. I've not seen any sign of that. We'll get into a little bit more of that conversation around the dealing in just a few minutes. Mick Not Matt says, I agree, it's sad, but funerals don't have to be extravagant. I was 22 and didn't have money, so I paid $500, had my mom cremated, and that's just what it was. I think I would rather that. I don't want a bunch of people looking at me. I just don't want it. And, you're right. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It's not about that. It's about this connection you have with the person and losing them. Many of you guys who have been here for a while know that on October the 27th, I can't even talk about it, I lost my cousin who was raised like a sister to me and a very best friend of mine. She was everything to me. And her funeral, I hated it. Didn't even want to go. It was an open casket. I just don't like it. I don't like I just don't like all the songs and stuff. I felt much more fulfilled at my family's house before and after the services, hanging out with family and being close like that. It's just not for me. All the people that I don't know. So, I agree with you. But it's also not up to me to tell people how and what they're going to do when they're grieving a loved one. So I don't want to be that person. Me too, Tart. That's exactly how I feel. Let me become one with the earth. My son's was bigger than we thought. Standing room only. I had him cremated. I wanted him home with me. I'm so sorry, Jesse. I didn't start a GoFundMe when my mom passed away. It wasn't anyone else's responsibility. It was mine. And I'm so sorry for you as well. Trulia says, how cool is that? My grandmother donated her body to Marshall School of Science. My dad's talked about that, doing that. Hey, Pursuing. Thank you, Kathy. Whew. Y'all know my voice shakes even talking about it. Some people just don't have the internet savvy to discern between a real GoFundMe or a scam. I prefer to donate directly to a verified source. Well, that's a huge part of it because we can say, it's up to the person, but I see it on YouTube all the time. Very loving and giving women, like older women who maybe aren't very technologically savvy and very easily manipulated, paying for all kinds of things. And creators using all kinds of things to get money. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like it. I don't think it's anybody's responsibility to pay for creators, especially lifestyle. And I think that it's gross. And I will never stop speaking about that because it bothers me to my core to see some of it. So if I think about it like that, and these women that are being taken advantage of on YouTube and stuff, fake GoFundMes, they'd probably be the perfect target for that kind of thing. I'm just not a fan of it. And I think that, and I'll say this as the last thing, if you're a YouTube creator, and you're struggling paying for things, I think that you have to try to find work somewhere else instead of asking people all the time. It's just not right. And it feels just feels wrong. But there are many things that you can do from home to earn money. Create your own business, make things, sell things, join other at-home companies. There are so many different things that people can do besides asking for money. These days, people have no shame. Money is the root of all evil. And I'm going to stop there. I could go on, but it truly bothers me to my core when I think about the people who aren't internet savvy or even easily manipulated. It just... Crystal, I'm supposed to be working, so I'm going to be listening and talking to myself out loud. I love you. Thank you. Leslie says, my mother's funeral, not including the plot, was almost $10K, and we didn't do anything extravagant in 06. My God, that's expensive. And I'm sorry, Leslie. And thank you, guys. Let me catch up with your comments. Mr. Tomato, high probability that people in the family are addicts. A lot of these kids selling drugs and parents using drugs. Well, we're going to get into that in just a second. Court TV had a special about this case this morning, talking to a DEA agent about some of that, and I do want to play just a little bit of that. David says, I feel like the government should pay. They got money for 2 wars. Oh, don't get me started on that. Oh, my best friend's granddaughter wouldn't leave the casket. She was 5. Aaron says, I find that elderly people such as my mother get scammed a lot. Yes, they do. Another one of my friends on here, Dad, got scammed not too long ago online. You are so right, Aaron. And that is the problem with the people that do this, taking advantage and money scams online. Oh, pursuing understanding. That's so sweet. Thank you. I'm excited to watch you grow. So glad to be part of this community. I know I told myself last night, I am going to have to stop saying like how shocked and surprised and proud I am of this community, because I know it gets old. But like for the last couple of months, I've just been like stopped in my tracks like several times with the love and support that come out of here. I'm getting teary-eyed over that. I'm an emotional mess, y'all. Ignore me. I've known people from my younger life who have passed and needed a GoFundMe for a funeral and kids, etc. It's a sad reality. Oh, teacup. You can rent the casket from the funeral home after the... Oh, wow. I didn't know that, Lucille. It is sad when scammers get on there and take advantage of people's downfalls and vulnerability. Fonda says, that's me. I'm learning more than got scammed. Oh, he stole my identity too. Fonda, oh my gosh. Well, please listen to me and anybody who's new to YouTube. You are not responsible to pay for people's lifestyles and things. And a lot of people are not honest when they're asking for things. Now, it's good to help people when they're in need, but just be so careful and really take a very close look before you do. A little bit of money is one thing, but some of these people donate thousands of dollars. Okay. There's a woman in the drama community that runs her subscribers for every problem she has, legit makes up lies, gets caught in them, and her subs still shovel out money. It's insane. I've seen that, Melly. I don't get it either. I sure will, Miss Patricia. Let me go back. I'm sorry. I don't like to miss the comments. I know some people in the replay get really annoyed with the interaction with the chat, but it is like a live. That's part of being on here live. And I enjoy that so much. Thank you, Teresa. Let's see. Not everyone puts up GoFundMes. I'm not, and my partner's mom passed on Boxing Day suddenly, and the day a drunk driver mounted the curb and plowed into him and shattered his pelvis. I'm so sorry about your partner's mom. I know a lot of people never say anything when they're desperate for help. Stephanie, I've honestly had several YouTubers ask me for money in private messages. Okay, see, I can feel the fury burning inside of me. I just think I don't like that. It's so wrong. So, okay. I'm sorry, the funeral industry is an actual business. Do not part with your pension. Agree. Right, Lil Red, when you're at a funeral home, so many things coming at you at once, and when you've just lost someone, you can't even think straight. Probably did it on Facebook, KPM. All right, so we got more stuff to get into involving Savannah and Matthew's case. So let me just find our next thing. I know sometimes we get lost and go off, and I go off on these tangents. I mean, I'm nobody to tell anybody how to act, what to do. I get that, and I get annoyed when we have people on here doing that. But then again, there is nothing that infuriates me more than people taking advantage of people for the money and stuff like that on here. I don't like it. So we have the court TV. And then also, before we get into that, I just want to talk to you quickly about the cell phone. So, and I went back to old articles this morning to try to be sure of myself, right? So, hold on. I remembered it coming out that it wasn't in the car. And then today I saw these in a Savannah Soto group. And this is from her sister-in-law. And she says her cell phone is gone. That is the first thing we did. We did a welfare check. Cops went in and everything was normal. Her hospital bag was there and everything. So that's one thing. We're curious about the car seat where they're on their way to the hospital. Her hospital bag was at home. Her cell phone is gone. And his was disconnected yesterday. Okay. Where is the cell phone? We have this article that came out on the 28th. The cell phone was not found in the car where they were found. We've uncovered new details about the case of the couple found Tuesday afternoon. Sources familiar with the investigation told us on Wednesday police did not find a firearm or the cell phone of Savannah's boyfriend Matthew in the vehicle. They didn't find the cell phone of Matthew. Guerra's family on Wednesday elaborated on the lengths they went to try to locate the couple and at the limitations faced through their efforts. Once it was like 2:30 p.m. Once it was like the 2:30 p.m. mark, we started panicking, Matthew's father and stepmother recalled. They said they knew they were expecting the baby and set to be induced. They said, I started calling. I'm calling, racing over there, calling police. They said they called 911 when they sensed their son and his girlfriend were in trouble. Where is this phone? And we talked about these cases. Guerra was due in court on January 9th for other cases. This could be a huge part of why and what happened. He was supposed to be in court January 9th. But where are the cell phones? So his dad kicked in the door, and I know this is old, but because these new screenshots about I hadn't seen those screenshots. It just made me think, and I wanted to dig into it. And then we'll get into the new thing from Court TV this morning with an ex-DEA agent. But let's just take a look at this. So I know we've talked about it before, but knowing all we know now and looking back, let's see. 1 second, you guys. Oh my gosh. Thank you, B Crumbs. B Crumbs called me. How long have I been muted? I'm so sorry, you guys. I was saying some good stuff. This was important. Oh my gosh. 2 mutes in a week and I've missed them. I cannot believe it. Okay. I am so sorry. I've probably been muted for a minute and I've been sitting here going to damn town about this phone and them finding the bag in the apartment. So just to run down what I was talking about, and then we will get into the video from this morning that I found. I hadn't seen. So I started getting curious about the cell phone after those screenshots. Where are these cell phones? And we know that the parents had asked police to track the phones, but they wouldn't do it because they didn't think that the circumstances were, urgent enough or bad enough to do that. I cannot believe I did that to you guys. I am so sorry. That was a long one. To you, Michelle. Oh my God. I am the worst, you guys. Bye, Truly. I have a good day at work. We heard nothing about this article. Oh my God. Okay, so what it was about, I was talking about the phones. This morning, I went back to old articles because I remembered that they said the phones weren't in the car, but I had to go back and refresh my memory about them being in the apartment. And they were not in the apartment. And we love you anyways. I love you guys. I love you, Jessie Lynn. I'm so sorry. 2 days in a damn row. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm just a hot mess express. So now I've completely lost the plot. We are going to watch this in just a second, but hold on. So I went back, found this article, right? And Matthew's dad is talking about when he goes to the apartment looking for them. And when he busts in the door, he finds the diaper bag. Savannah was supposed to take that diaper bag with her to be induced. This is what I was saying. Originally, Chicken Lady. I'm so sorry. Originally, I thought that she potentially might have been going to be induced. That's why the car seat was on her lap, and remember Jen talking about in Texas, they make you do this car seat test to make sure it's installed properly and all that stuff. I am just so sorry. I do love you guys. Thank you for the ones who stick with me, Fonda. See, I get it all here. I've already cried and laughed. I've cried and laughed too. We definitely go through it together. Hey, Kay Ann. But this was a powerful article anyway, so let me just go to this part and refresh. Now that we know everything that we know, why wouldn't they use the phones to try to locate them? Where are the phones now? They still don't have them. And is it possible that maybe Matthew had made plans to meet up with somebody and they knew that evidence would be on his phone? Oh, Mary Jane Doe, thank you. And Tess, you said it's been a while, so I'm doing all right. Thank you, Adrian. Oh, my God. Well, I do appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me. When I first clicked over, I think it was almost 300 people in here. And when I clicked back, it was 207. Those people were probably like, what in the hell is going on here? Yeah, no doubt, Mayla, because if not, I'm going to be getting tore up in the comments. I'm telling you, they do not cut me a break. They go hard. I'll show y'all some in a minute that I was showing on Patreon yesterday, because I always wanted to show everybody that stuff. I just thought it'd be fun to something I could offer to show first there. Can they find any info from the numbers only, or do they need the physical phone? Here's the problem with that. They can get some from the numbers, right? From text messages and stuff like that. Maybe through his Google account, if they can do it and send a warrant to Google. But if they don't have the phone, they're not going to know if he was communicating with people on Snapchat, Telegram, whatever, you know? They were like, laugh it over. Thank you, Kathy. You are so sweet. Mayla's mom. So I don't know. I think the phone's a really important thing to find. I'm worried about that. I want to know where they're at. But in my research for this phone, this article, I want to read just these two parts of this article, and then we're going to get into the video I found Court TV put out this morning with that DEA agent. So let me make sure my ass ain't muted because I can't see StreamYard when I'm reading. No, I'm not. The next live will be in sign language. Adrian's suggestion. Thank you, Pointer Lover. I love you too. I don't know sign language. I know the alphabet, but that's it. Okay, so let me just read through this really quick. I am not going to mute. I'm not muted. And I'm going to read through just two parts of this and then part of the next one. And I think that with knowing all we know now, hearing it like this just hits you differently. Made me think of a few different things. I don't think they were going to be induced. I think it's very possible they were potentially going to meet someone, over if he was dealing and stuff like that. Maybe that is why the phones are gone. But okay, so Matthew's dad says at 2:30 p.m. we started panicking. He said, I'm calling, racing home, racing over there, calling police. We called 911 and they basically told us they're adults, they can disappear if they want. That's not in this part, but it comes, I remember. Okay, so he races over to Matthew's house and to verify whether the uncharacteristic silence was anything but miscommunications. He kicked in the door when he didn't get a response, fearing the worst would be on the other side. Instead, he finds an undisturbed apartment, a lit candle, and a diaper bag, which Savannah intended to take to her appointment Saturday. So that's not what they were doing. The car seat must have just been in the car, and maybe they put it on top of her to hide the body a little more, camouflage the body. Who knows? But it's likely they were not planning to go be induced. They were going to do something else. And maybe it was something quick, and that's why the candle was lit. Or it's possible that they were forced out of their apartment. I hope there's cameras there. So if that's the case, I would think they would have an arrest now, or we'd have more information. But remember, police are doing and getting a lot of information they're not giving us. Okay, so he wanted the police to request his son's location data. The detective told him it was unlikely a judge would grant the request. I wish they would have at least tried, because these phones, I think, could play a very important role. The detective basically said they're adults. They want to disappear. They can. Let's see. And then he says, I never knew a pain like this existed, losing his child. I mean, God, if it doesn't rip your heart out, I don't know what would. But then this next article that's hyperlinked here. Oops. I was thinking something's wrong again. I knew when my phone started ringing, I'd done messed up. I was like, oh no, I've been reading for 30 minutes. Your intro is too long and not long enough. You talk too much. You don't talk enough. And I bet your deodorant has failed. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, for real. Hold on. Mom said there was a lit candle, also diaper bag. Hopefully they can track phones. It's soul crushing. I'm so sorry, Jesse. God. Okay, so in this article that was hyperlinked, they talk a little more about when they came in, and let me read you that part. I think it's quite interesting looking back now. So they talked that Matthew was very excited to have this baby, and this is cute. He said, we had to remind him at the baby shower to let Savannah open some of the gifts because he was opening them all. They were so happy and excited. On Saturday, when no one heard from Savannah or Matthew, Gabrielle kicked in their apartment door. That's when I saw Savannah's overnight bag for the hospital that she didn't take with her, and that threw me more in a panic, said Gabriel. He does know Matthew was arrested for domestic abuse against Savannah, and even suggested Matthew stay in custody longer. But he says, quote, they had contacted each other on the phone. That was a violation, so they can please keep him in there. And unfortunately, it would have to be Savannah to say that. So his dad wanted them to keep him in there a little longer, but it had to be Savannah, and she wasn't willing to do that. She loved him. She forgave him. Now, here's another huge thing. They link this Twitter where a woman goes into the court case with Savannah and Matthew from last Christmas. And we looked at this in the beginning days on this channel. At the bottom, you see Guerra was due for court on January 9th for other cases. This is something I think we need to explore a little more. Factually, I don't want to get into the rumors. However, I know there are a lot of rumors because of his lifestyle, people he interacted with, that could have made him a target, and rumors about getting in trouble with people and telling police stuff and everything like that. Like I said, I don't want to get too far into that, but I think we could find out with like fact-based research exactly what he was due in court for and who he was due in court with. Domestic abuse charges were never filed again. The couple seemed happy and they were inseparable. Okay, so now that we're through all of that, and I apologize, you guys, for that muting. I'm still kicking myself in the ass. I really hate doing that. I'm sorry. Now we're going to go into this. So Court TV put this out this morning. They talk with a DEA agent. I think let's just watch through it. We'll pause along the way, use fair use, of course, and just hang out and kind of see what they say. I honestly didn't have time to watch through it all. I just found it right before the live started. And I was already gathering these other things, the statements from the families, the stuff about the phone. I just find it so interesting. Those phones are gone. The bag was at home. I think this really paints a picture. They weren't going to the hospital. And whoever did this knows that there's evidence on the phones. I didn't even know Court TV was covering it. Me either. So before my live streams, after I find like enough things I want to talk about, I had the article and from the Vigil and all those things gathered. I'll just do like a quick search on social media to see if anything new comes up. Stuff comes out all the time, and oftentimes I'll be going to do a live, and then boom, an arrest or someone will be found or whatever. Something will change. So I put into Facebook right before the live to do a search, and I saw Court TV posted 1 minute before I found it that this DEA agent went over about him dealing and some things with that. And I thought it'd be interesting for us to go over. I think it was supposed to be a quick run. So do I. And did they leave the candle on purpose, or, was someone there? We don't know, but hey, Linda. Hey, Meg. I'm a guy. Is it okay? I like wearing women's blue jeans. Evan, I don't care what you wear. Hey, Kaleida Hope. I don't care how anybody lives. I don't give a damn. As long as you ain't hurting me and my kids, you do whatever makes you happy, baby. Good to see you, Kaleida Hope. Thank you, guys. Kathy, Jesse, all you guys. Mary Jane Doe, I appreciate you. Thank you. Hello, Ashley. Okay. Get to the point, Allie. I know. I'm telling y'all, come back later to this live and check the comments and see if my ass is not roasted underneath, because I will be. It's just something that happens. Hey, True Crime Crazy. Hey, beautiful. Hope you're well. I can't begin to say how much you and the community has helped me. Gives me something to look forward to each day. Also, please check your text messages. I will as soon as I'm off the live, and thank you. I appreciate you, and I'm so happy that you're here and that we've been able to help at all, and I hope that you're doing okay. Do you think that he was a snitch to get out? I think it's possible, Music City Mom. We have this upcoming court date. Yeah, I definitely do. And also, look, when you start to have kids, your mind changes. This is where I'm at. I know I used to be in the streets, in the drug game, and it's very, like, The culture is you move in silence. You don't tell people what you're doing, who you're meeting, that's just the way it is. And if you do, you will be heavily disrespected. But when you start to get out of that and you start to think about your kids, your future, things like that, you change. And you think, you know what? It's not about like this stay silent culture, this, if somebody does something to hurt you or your kids or puts you in a position, you're like, I'm going to tell the truth. And you just change. And yeah, that kind of goes away. Kathy, I don't give a F what consenting adults do. I'm one of those crazy liberals. Oh, thank you, Ashley. I think whoever did this wanted to do it before she gave birth. That's interesting, Erin. Did she put it out there? I wonder. I don't know, because on the social media that I went back, she hadn't posted for a couple months on her Facebook. Stephanie, you're so sweet. No need to apologize. It happens. That just gives us more time with you because you have to repeat yourself. I don't mind hearing you at all. You're so thoughtful. Thank you, Stephanie. That's really sweet. I love you so much, Adrian. Jen says, I think they were going to get a re-up and it was going to be quick. And I think that's why they were in the back seat to exchange. And that's when they confronted him. I think they shot her first. Hey, Linda. I think that's definitely possible. Hey, Jamie, I do feel like it was a setup for whatever reason. Well, I think that we need to get the facts on this upcoming court date. That's really important. So I'm going to try to find out what I can after this. Let's give this a little listen together. We'll just hang out and kind of
shining spot on the death of a pregnant teacher whose murder unsolved. Savannah Soto is her name, and her boyfriend's name is Matthew Guerra. They were both found shot in a parked car last week. Now, police have released this surveillance video here saying they're searching for two persons of interest right now in their murders. And you can see in the video, if you look closely, the couple's Kia Optima. It first slowly approaches that pickup truck. Briefly, there's interaction with the driver. Somebody gets out of the Kia, but it's unclear where they go. The Kia then leaves the scene, and police are investigating this case as a capital murder.
Now, if you haven't seen the live that I think I did yesterday, you can just click the link. You don't even need to watch my live. In the description, there's a link for Duty Ron. He did a show on this footage. And he pointed out some things I hadn't noticed before. So I think he did a really great job. So if you hadn't seen that, I would recommend watching that. Like, for instance, the towel. There's definitely a towel. They're wiping things off. I'm confused how, though he says he feels they may have one person in mind. I'm just confused how that would be when we see there's multiple people involved. And we know that for felony murder, capital murder, let's say they were being kidnapped, robbed, something like that, everyone involved, even the driver who does nothing but drive, will be charged with murder. So, yeah, okay, let's keep listening, and I'm going to look and respond to your comments while we listen.
And at a press conference on December 28th, the chief of police walked the public through what we know so far. Take a look.
Savannah, Soto, 22-year-old Matthew, Guerra were reported missing by Leon Valley on 12/23/3. A clear alert was issued for Savannah by DPS because it met the criteria for an alert to be issued. CLEAR stands for the state's Coordinated Law Enforcement Adult Rescue Program. Families of both victims reached out to SAPD on the 23rd to make a police report, but we had learned that Leon Valley had already taken a missing person report. On the 26th at about 4 o'clock, SAPD was called to assist Leon Valley PD 5908 Danny K. Leon Valley was requesting assistance. Families of both victims were at the location, and reportedly during the day, they received information that the missing gray Kia Optima.
That is one very disturbing part of this case that we cannot forget. The family found them. They were alerted the car was there. They found and saw them before anyone. That is horrific. Can you imagine? I mean, even just if you had to go identify them would be horrific, but finding them, seeing them like that. He said that because how the DA said what he did in the interview. He's right. He said it reminded him of how they spoke when he was a cop. Yes. And we went over that yesterday, and I really respect Duty Ron. I think that, you know, we can see good and bad. I've seen good and bad out of retired officers on social media. I think that all of us have, and I don't have to give bad examples, but I think he's a good one. And I always really respect his opinion. However, it confuses me because I don't see how that would be possible. What would be the reasons to humiliate him if she was the target? I'm just wondering. It's possible he wasn't actually humiliated. I agree. We don't know. And if it's even true, his pants were down. Isn't it possible that happened while he was being moved or something like that? I honestly think they were down just to not have him get away. Wow, that is smart. Because, yeah, you can't run with them down. We used to know a guy, and he was always out fast. It came to find out he was an informant. He meant street code. In my opinion, I think giving directly to the funeral home is the best way to donate. I agree. The height, and I swear I see a long ponytail. Even the way the person exits the car, I just swear it's a female. Hey, Mal, good to see you. I see you're doing a live soon. When is it? Can you let us know? Hey, Psychobabble. It was hard enough to see my son at the hospital. I wouldn't have wanted to see him when he was found. Yeah, I can't imagine. Jen says, let me tell you, I have a rough past with 2 strikes, and I was going to be let out on our first time. I was like, no, I'm gold. I'll just stay, because I didn't want people to think that it's dangerous. It just is. Hey, Unseen. Friday. Awesome, Mal. I can't wait. Okay, let's keep listening.
At the Danny address. When police arrived, they discovered 2 people in the Kia. EMS was called to the scene, and they pronounced both victims at the scene. It appeared that the vehicle had been located at that location for several days. I mean, clearly, it was a heinous act. It was, unspeakable, the tragedy of it.
I have 2 great guests to help
now,
me.
This is what I want to hear with you guys, the guests. But first, I just want to say quickly. So the police chief has gotten a lot of flack. How do you say that? A lot of flack for how he has responded and acted towards the family. I personally think that's probably just being a little too harsh on him. He's got a lot of eyes on him right now. And we did see there are moments where he offered condolences. Some people don't handle emotions well. Flack, thank you. See, Jesse Lynn, I don't care for him. I didn't either. When I watched especially that first interview, I was like, ugh. But, I think that some people have a hard time with this kind of stuff. And also, he's probably, and I think Bendy pointed this out, she didn't use these words, but he's trying to keep it business, like professional. He wants to be almost take the emotions out of it. They definitely need a public speaker or something like that. Hey, Mike. Okay, let's keep going, because this is what I wanted to watch with you guys, the guest.
Analysis. I want to bring them in. Forensic death investigator, professor, and the host of the Body Bags podcast, Joseph Scott Morgan, and former DEA supervisory special agent, Michael Wilhite. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Thank you for being on the show. I want to play a clip from that same press conference and start here, where the chief of police is saying this crime scene is quite complex. Let's take a listen to what he said, and I want to get your reactions and thoughts.
I love Joseph Scott Morgan. I should listen to Body Bags a lot more. He just covered the Shanda Art case on Body Bags. If you guys don't know about him, you need to find out, because he is brilliant.
What we're looking at right now is a very perplexing crime scene. And detectives right now are looking at this as a possible murder. And but we don't know for sure. So again, because of the complexity, the complex crime scene, we can't say for sure what we have.
This is no doubt a head scratcher. Joseph Scott Morgan, would you kick off our conversation, please? What do you think may have happened here?
It's hard to say, and scenes involving vehicles are particularly complex. I think that's one of the things that he is alluding to, Julie, is that if you have a motor vehicle, you essentially have wheels. And I think the big question is, both of these vehicles, or both of these actually, or were they killed? And the vehicle.
Now I'm going to pause him right there, because we know now, based on certain things that have come out from police and other articles, that and we've went over here previously, they do believe that when this video footage was taken, they were deceased. Okay.
With them in it was moved to said location. I think that's one of the complexities. And he also is not going into a lot of detail relative to the position of bodies. All we know is that they are in the vehicle. We don't know where they are. There was some thought early on that this could be a murder suicide. Only those kind of very clearly stated. You know, when you walk up, you kind of observe these at the scene. But that's not the indication that we're getting here. It is complex, to say the least.
Right. Joseph, thank you for that. And I'm glad you brought up that point about how some are questioning this and saying, could it have been a suicide? And Savannah?
Aries comments and says, I was just wondering something here, or watching something here. They saw his Telegram being active on the 28th, so they are wondering who may have his phone, an ex maybe. So we have also talked about that in the past, and that is really interesting with the phones missing. So I don't think that, you know, there could be explanations for why it would appear to be active or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe if the phone was even on. I have used Telegram. I do use it, but I don't use it a ton, so I don't know. But definitely, whoever he talked with to meet up, or his phone is gone for a reason, in my opinion. So it's really interesting that it could have potentially been active on the 28th on Telegram. And I'd say potentially because we just don't know for a fact. That is what people are saying, Jesse Lynn, yes, that it was active on the 28th. And I've seen multiple people say this. I think in one of our lives the other day, I think it was the New Year news or whatever, I showed a TikTok of a girl who showed his Telegram and was saying that. So she was trying to say that he was still alive, which we know now is inaccurate. Mayla's mom, I haven't seen that. Jamie says, I'm so confused as to why they had to break the window. They have a tool that can be used to get the door unlocked. Girls in the game are more callous. Girls are, yes, they can be nasty. That's just the truth. Squeaky wheel. The cops removed the date timestamp from the one video they released. That they know damn good and well when that car was placed there, and that it never moved again after that. Preschool granny. I have a sick feeling his ex-girlfriend knows a lot more. Let's keep listening. I'm interested in that. I don't want to go too far into it out of respect for trying to keep rumors out of what we talk about. But I do have a show coming up soon with Foxy about psychics and true crime. And the Psychic Sleuth posted these auto writes that she did like a couple months ago, where she talks about a girl that looks like Leilani named Annalisa. And I think that's so interesting because this happened before anything ever happened. She's had that happen before with Quentin. In one of her, she was like doing an auto write for something else months before Quentin Simon was killed by his mother. And she, in the auto write, came out about a baby in Georgia in the landfill and all this stuff. So it's interesting. And I think we could get into some of that on that Psychics Live without stirring too much of the rumor mill. Hello, Miss Curious Jen. I'm happy to see you. Hey, Kimmy K. Okay, let's keep listening.
Anna Soto's mother spoke adamantly against this, talking to station KSAT, saying, and quote, exactly, quote, "This is not like her. She was so excited to have this baby. The house was already baby ready. There's no reason why she would just get up and go off and do that." Savannah knows what I went through with Ethan, and I know she doesn't want me to go through this again, referencing death of her younger brother. And so, with that being said, Michael Wilhite, let me go to here, please. We know some are wondering, could this have been drug related? Certainly you're an expert in narcotics, having served so many years with the DEA. Tell me, is there anything about this case that says drug trafficking or something related to drugs to you?
Everything about this case speaks of drug trafficking, drug related. I think before there was a photo of Matthew, chunk of lots of money.
He is Michael Wilt, retired DEA supervisory special agent, owner of MTW Consultant LLC, law enforcement consulting and training, and he served as a U.S. Army infantry officer. He said everything about this case screams drugs and drug dealing. That is interesting to me. Let's keep listening.
Jury, I think he was holding up a gang sign too. Everything about this case thinks of drug trafficking in the area. I think that also there was, I think it was incidents where I think he was arrested on charges too before. So there could be an incident where, you know, he tried to make a deal. It's a deal to get that case because you want to see his child born.
Whoa. Wait a minute. We need to re-listen to that because I was reading your comments, and this is exactly what I fear may have happened. He is supposed to be in court January 9th. Let me just take a second to say, all the shirt says, Annalisa, not the ex. Hello, everybody. So this is why I don't want to get into Annalisa here, because it's rumors. We don't know. Apparently, the brother said last night that he wasn't an ex. I didn't see that with my own eyes. It's rumors. And I just think that we're going to try to stay away from that a little bit. So, or not a little bit. We just are. Okay. Hey, Horror Ho. Lucia, good to see you. Okay, let's keep listening. This is interesting to me. I have to know the details of this January 9th court appearance.
Matthew holding a chunk of lots of money. Jury, I think he was holding a gang sign too. Everything about this case thinks of drug trafficking in the area. Think that also there was, there was incidents where I think he was arrested on some charges too before. So there could be an incident where, you know, he tried to make a deal, place a deal to get out that case because you want to see his child born, and somebody retaliated. So everything about this speaks of drug trafficking. I've spent 30 plus years law enforcement, state and federal.
So he knows what the hell he's talking about. I'm sorry, but I have to agree. I'm not in law enforcement, but I've been in the streets. I've been in the drug life. I know damn good and well that if you snitch on somebody, especially if you're going to put them away for a long time, you better watch out because witnesses will disappear before court. I'm telling you right now. And that is just scary, scary stuff. Also, like I said, and then he reiterated, when you become a parent, things change. Even the concept of snitching changes, right? And the concept of honesty and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Squeaky wheel. They should get the cops that helped chase down Rachel Morin's killer to pitch in and help. Oh, wait. Never mind. Squeaky wheel. Hey, Malon. I'm sorry. That's some BS. The notifications. See, that's why pants down looking for a wire. Cops put wires down there. Ooh, Crystal. You're thinking of something besides yourself. Exactly. I agree, Allie. It's scary. You know, I don't know. Let's keep listening.
23 of that is with the Drug Enforcement Administration, and everything about this case speaks of drug trafficking. Wow.
Michael Wilhite, I want to say, tell me more when you're saying that. I mean, this just seems so sad. Do you think, as a follow-up question to you, please, do you think Savannah and her unborn baby could have been collateral damage, so to speak, if she was with her boyfriend and not actively trafficking, but if he were the trafficker and someone was retaliating, could that be the case for her death?
From my experience, the girls that are dealing with, involved with drug traffickers, they themselves might not be the primary trafficker, but they're definitely reaping the benefits of that lifestyle. The mere fact that whatever happened that night or that day, the killing Matthew, obviously the killers could not leave a witness, and she was a witness.
Yep, there you go. Wow, you guys. Psycho Babble says, I'm always wary of going to the default drug deal scenario. But let's look at all the things that point to this, right? We have, number one, they didn't have the hospital bag with them, so they weren't going to be induced. Number two, a candle was still lit. Did they think they were just leaving quickly, just going to meet somebody? Something like that. Number three, the phones are gone. Why would they take the phones unless there's something on there? They've talked on Telegram or somewhere and talked about meeting with somebody, and they don't want cops to find that. You know, 4, we have his January 9th upcoming court date. We need to find out what that was about. 5, all the pictures online of him with the money, the gold teeth. 6, his Telegram. There are so many signs that point to that. Yes, Fonda, you're doing great. You'll get in there. Shar says, I think it was meant to be a quick errand run, in my opinion. I agree. We'll watch for another minute, and then we'll wrap it up.
She's part of that lifestyle. Whether or not she actually sold drugs, participated, she's part of that lifestyle.
She's a witness.
And she was there at the time that he was, so I'm saying, she definitely knew the lifestyle that he was involved in. She excelled. So, you know, the birds will flock together.
Michael, this is really illuminating.
It's sad that,
yes.
It's super illuminating. I have to agree with her. Sometimes I watch these court TV segments and I'm like, they're just repeating everything we've already talked about and know about. But I find this so interesting. Jelly Baby says this all happened as well during the time he publicly announced on his Telegram that his new order was coming in. Now, that's something I don't understand because, like I said, like when I was in that lifestyle, which has been a long time, you know, years, 7 years, but even before that, really, when I was really in it like that, you didn't really talk about a lot of that stuff. You wouldn't, I don't know. But then again, Telegram is used for that. Many people use Telegram to sell drugs or weed or whatever it is. Even legitimate businesses. I told you guys, like in Virginia, marijuana is legal there, but they haven't figured out a way to tax it. So they don't have dispensaries, but they do have smoke shops that do memberships and selling other items and getting free weed and stuff like that because that is legal. And these shops will promote their deals and what they're doing on Telegram, you know? So I guess it is a more open, people are open about what they have because that's where they're trying to sell their product. Savannah was shot in the back of the head just like Matthew was. That leads me to believe someone was sitting in the back seat next to him. She held the car seat to make more room in the back seat. I think that's a good guess of why she did that. I also wonder, could they put it on her to like almost camouflage her body in that car? We do not know for sure they left their apartment together. Not that I've seen. No. Oh, thank you, Roxanne. You're awesome. I'm going to play about another minute of this. I will share the link to this video in the chat right now.
It's sad that, of course, you know, his lifestyle end up costing the life of an unborn child.
Right, right. Joseph Scott Morgan, back to you. Let's say that these vehicles were moved, as you said before, that, you know, maybe the killing happened at one location. And then how do you as an investigator backtrack and figure out where the killing occurred?
Okay, so the link is in the chat. Wolfie, you've been a member 2.5 years. That's freaking crazy. I love you and thank you. And I wanted to read, I think it was Horror Ho says, I don't know. I grew up in Texas, and it's pretty much in your face if you're looking in the right direction. They've just become bolder over the years. So that's so weird to me because, like I said, like back in my day, a lot of people moved in silence with a lot of this stuff. But also, social media was not what it is now. His brother said they left together around 11 a.m. Okay. All right, so just a quick search so we don't miss any if there's some kind of breaking news or something like that. Let's just do a quick search on Twitter. That's kind of what we do when we're wrapping this up. Oh, look, we have right at the top, Miss Coffindaffer. She says, still no arrest. The biggest obstacle in the way of making these cases is cooperation from witnesses who know who killed them because they don't want to get whacked. Wow, nice phrasing there. They don't want to get whacked. Okay. Likely vicious gang members and associates are responsible. Look at the famous case of the hit on Tupac. His own producer, Suge Knight, to this day hasn't provided information on killed him, and he was there, saw it, and grew up with Keefe D on the streets of Compton. You steal drugs, rip someone off, or mess with another gangster's girl. You can possibly make up for it and be forgiven. You snitch, and that's it. Hashtag gang life. She shares these two pictures. What is this link she shared? She is also retired FBI. You can feel however you feel about her. I know, but that's what she says. Oh, preschool granny, you've been a member for 7 months. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, Shar, I'll give that baby extra lovin's for me. I love little baby cheeks. Very interesting. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about this just quickly. What is a clear alert? I had pulled this video from the local news. This is what she linked. It's actually in our Dropbox to watch today, but I'm not going to play it. I'm going to put it here in the chat. If you guys are interested in the details of a clear alert, Jelly Baby says, sorry to be so blunt here, but being shot from behind would also mean little struggle also before you could react. Both could easily have been shot quickly. Matt pulled into the back so the car could then... You can be blunt here. That's okay. Don't be sorry. And Horror Ho, yeah, that whacked comment was quite odd. It's like, okay, we are talking about kids and babies and just humans in general. I don't know, kind of interesting way to say that. Jamie says, I've noticed people being more open about the weed on social media than it was back in the day. Okay, so what we do is we're going to go to the latest and just see. Spirit boxes. She was everything. Family calls for answers of what happened to the mother-to-be. 2 persons of interest in this video. Joseph Scott Morgan tweets about it and his appearance on the show we just watched. Ooh, JLR is live now taking a look around the area of Valencia Lofts Apartments where Savannah and her boyfriend were last seen. That's kind of cool. I like to see the area a little bit. Pascal's was live about a spirit box. Look, I have a lot of respect for Mexi. He's the one person that I truly do believe in doing that, but I don't want to bring that into here for this discussion. So we are going to talk about that stuff with Foxy very soon anyways. The councilman who is urging for an arrest, which we've already went over. And I think that, yeah, we've kind of went over everything. So like I said, if you want to watch about the clear alert, here's the link. And then let me pull up this photo of Savannah that I do really love. So of Savannah and Matthew. And then I'll say goodbye to you and let you guys go. I don't know. I think that what I need to do, what I need to do is find out the details of this upcoming court date. I think that's the next thing. And just to try to kind of make sense of what's going on here and the facts around it, not just rumors, because social media, there's just a lot more bullshit than truth on there. That's just the way it is. Where is this picture? Here we go. Okay. But thank you guys for being here. Telegram is an app where you can direct message. People can set up a page. It's just social media. Shar says, I bet the killers are sweating now with not expecting this to go so viral. Oh, absolutely. Because there's so many times that people do not. Fonda Foxy is a friend of mine. She does tarot readings and stuff. Here's her link. But we're going to do it soon, whenever we can, whenever we have the opportunity. When we do, I'll definitely post and make sure you guys are aware of it. If you keep up with the community tab, you won't miss anything, because I share my friends' videos and things like that. The last couple nights have been rough here because the kids have been back to school. Bentley had some trouble last night. So if I miss anything, or if I, miss a live, if I find one, I'll end up sharing it with you guys eventually. But so yeah, definitely watch out for the community tab, because lots of great channels over there, like Miss Melissa. Hello, Melissa. Good to see you. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I have to go pick up my kids. I have to get ready for a doctor's appointment tomorrow and do some stuff around the house. But I also want to dig into that January 9th situation. So if anybody knows anything about that, sees anything about that, please send it to me. The email or my messenger is at the bottom of the screen. Otherwise, thank you guys for being here. I just really do appreciate you. Fonda, well, you guys can laugh at me while you watch me learn. We won't laugh. We'll help you through it. Oh, Mr. Tomato Head, always a pleasure to see you. Sunshine, thank you for being here. We love you, Kathy. Yes, Shar, I really do want to speak to you soon. Okay, horror host. So January 9th, Matthew had an upcoming court date for some trouble he had just got in. There's a lot of rumors swirling around that, and I won't get into the rumors, but I think that we could probably find some court documents with some accurate information. Music City Mom, I wasn't going to mention you being there for your own privacy unless you mentioned it. But one of our friends who we love so much is she's at the doctor and she's going through some health stuff. So if you could send some good vibes and love and prayers and all that stuff, please do, because she deserves it. And she's the first one to help anybody anytime that one of you guys have said you needed something or whatever. So please just send all the love to her. She definitely deserves it. All right, you guys, I will see you soon. I'll keep you updated on what I find over the January 9th thing. If you haven't been over to my Patreon, consider going over there, because you can join without pay. So you don't have to pay. And I have been posting, and I'm going to post more stuff for anybody to see, even if you're not a paid member. It's just when you are a paid member, you get to see things quicker. Oh, yes. Let's end with these comments that some of them I've went over on Patreon. I want to show you guys a message I got, but I don't have time for that right now. But I will show you some of the comments that we went over. This one, it's whatever. I mentioned it literally 5 times and people still left comments correcting me, which is whatever. But I thought these were kind of entertaining. So Money Car 47 says, intro is too long and too many hellos. Just get to the point. This is our Idiots of the Internet segment. Dun, 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 dun. Bro, you are on the replay. You can skip it. It's really that simple. Just skip ahead. I'm going to leave a comment today about that with the time. Just skip ahead. If you don't like the intro, skip ahead. Also, too many hellos. Well, I'm sorry. That's the way that we run the channel over here. If you don't like it, go to a channel that doesn't talk to their subscribers. It's really that simple. But I think it's so funny that people completely forget that you can skip the intro. Okay, one more. Vince O says, this was pointless. Okay. Then why are you leaving a comment? Move on with your life, Vince. Vince, please go find something better to do if you thought this was pointless. Okay? Vince O. And eventually we will get into the letter I got, which was just downright damn disgusting with nothing but lies. And I do want to talk about it here. I've talked about it on Patreon. but I want to talk about it publicly because the rumors and the things I was accused of were disgusting. They accused me of working with families to steal money from them, promoting GoFundMes to steal money from families, and that they know 2 people. They said they called the cops on me because I robbed 2 families, and that I'm always getting on here complaining about how hard my life is and how I have no money. I'm like, are you watching the right channel, you idiot? I never asked for money, and at Christmas, I promoted my subscribers wish list, and I also helped my subscribers, many of them that I will never talk about, or a few of them, not many. But we try to do giveaways, we do fundraisers, we try to give back over here. You're on the wrong channel, but the reason I want to address it publicly is because she's posting all over Facebook about it. And I don't want those rumors going around. I want people to know. I mean, you could simply go back and watch all my streams to see I don't do that shit. There are plenty of channels on here fucking begging every day with no shame at all. Go complain to them, but not me. Oh, I commented on that bitch post. Yeah, she's posting about me on Facebook. She called the cops on me for stealing money from families I've worked with. I don't work with families. Now, if a family member, like I have done lives like with Bianca Devin's mom, if someone reached out to me and I could help in any way, or they wanted to use this platform for a place to have a voice, I would do it. Otherwise, I don't do that because it makes things too sticky. I like to talk about what's going on. Oh, Lou, thank you. I appreciate that. I love that your accent flares up. It pisses me off. No, the police didn't contact me. Jordan, I don't know who it is. Some lady. Thank you again, Lou. That was sweet. Valley is a bad person, then none of us have a chance. We suck. Oh, I love you. You are an excellent person. That was just funny. Christina's alter ego. I like your name. But yeah, apparently I'm just like, I don't know, different channel. Yes. Oh, Jessie Lynn, I'm going to show you. I'll bring it to our next live. We'll have a little idiots on the internet segment at the end. Hey, real deal. I'm new. What's going on? We're leaving. But I was just doing a little segment called Idiots of the Internet. Hey, if you got the balls or the gumption or the nerve to come and leave stupid ass comments on my channel or about me on Facebook, then I think I have the right to respond to it and show your dumbass on my channel. So that's what I'm going to do. Hey, Shay Shay. Hey, Titanium. I am. She doesn't have a channel. So it's just, on our next one, I have the whole letter already, but I'm on the wrong side of Facebook. I love it. I love it when Allie curses people. Y'all are freaking funny. Why the F would anyone have an opinion about Matthew and Savannah's past, regardless of what Matthew did to Savanah a year ago? I don't know. I think that it's just it's just a sad fact of something that happened in the case. I don't think that it's relevant at all. It's just part of what's happened with them. Some people are crazy. Spicy Alley is my favorite. No, they have not arrested anybody yet. Adrian, I love you so much, Curious Jen. Oh, I hope you're feeling better. Oh, tonight we have a new podcast. I'm really excited. And I think Bendy may be a guest, is what I got from our messages today. But also, I don't know. Sometimes I have comprehension problems. You rarely ask for a damn like button hit. I will never ask you guys for money. I'm telling you right now. And I said this during my Patreon live, unless like one of my kids needed like chemo or some kind of treatment, God forbid anything like that would ever happen, or like a family member or me, and I couldn't pay for it and it was like life or death, maybe then. But other than that, I would never, ever, 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 ever. And I hope I just don't want to jinx myself that anything bad happens to me and my family. I'm just saying that I want to give back. I want to, like, this channel, we've done a lot of cool stuff here. We've raised almost $5,000 in Gannon's memory. We've donated to an organization, NecroSearch, that helped in Gannon's case, that helps with like finding people and decomposition tests and all kinds of stuff like that, like a body farm. We gave away 5 boxes of wax melts for Christmas. We shared like several wish lists, and then I couldn't share a couple, and I tried to help them out. And anyone else that I wish I could have helped everybody. I wish I could have made sure all you guys that couldn't afford Christmas could do it. I don't tell people when I help people. Like, I don't know. It's really frustrating to be like talked to like that and have posts on Facebook claiming I'm stealing from families, GoFundMes, and all this shit when I would never do it. When there are channels and people that are out here taking advantage of people on the damn daily. That is frustrating. So anyways, we'll talk about it more next time. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you so much. Sarah, I like the long intros and long mutes so I can catch up when I'm tardy. Yeah, I'm going to have to make a comment about the mute. Like I said, I'll be roasted later in the comments. Y'all come back if you need some entertainment. Maybe we'll have a, maybe we'll have, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Breaking news. I just got an email from El Paso Sheriff's Office. Calls on the way to us today. I need 24 hours to process. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then I get comments about that. Why are you excited about listening to these calls? Well, I don't know, because I enjoy doing it with you guys and I want to know the details of everything that happened. Yay, we get the calls. And we have video calls on the way, and a lot of them, and hopefully we're going to get more soon. You could make a new channel with that content. I know. Idiots of the internet. Real deal. Allie, you sound spicy. My type of gal. Sometimes, sometimes. All right, you guys. Thank you for everything. Have a great day. Please check out the channels that I dropped. They are all, any channel that we recommend is an excellent channel that I completely stand by. Amber's in here, Curious Jen, our Bendy, Melissa, Nay stuff, Lori stuff, Punksy. I mean, I don't want to leave anybody else, so I'll just stop. Foxy, I got to quit. But no, seriously, I just truly do believe in those people with all of my heart. So definitely check out their channels, and I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Thank you for everything. Bye.